Great. Let's see. So today I'm just going to go over some of this. There was somebody sharing their words with us. There was a mad rush to the Padlets after class last week. So I'm going to go over some of those comments. Then you can tell me, I will talk to you about the myth of detox, and it'll be interesting to hear what y'all think. Then we'll have a Q&A about the final. And then I have a 2-minute, 3-minute progressive relaxation I would like to do before I send you off. Then I will send out the exam. It will be available under assignments on Blackboard. There'll be a folder that says exam 2. And then when you open up the folder, you'll see the document, and then you'll also see a place to submit the final, all right, through Turnitin. Tomorrow afternoon, as I said before, since I can't go up and down the aisles and answer questions you might have about the exam or what a question might mean, I will be available. If that's hopefully that's a good time for you to stop in and let me know if you have any questions. If you can't make it that time, but you want to email me, I will read your question during this period and answer it. If nobody shows up, I will just respond, I guess. But I can't answer the questions like I will today. All right. And that's the plan. Does anybody have any questions about the questions? Okay. So let me look at some of these Padlets. Let's see. This was, what do you want to do when this is over? This is when I asked you to please think about your next step, your next adventure. And Andrea, you want to go abroad without carrying a dozen masks. Max wants to see, oh, that would be nice. Yes, what's it like playing basketball with a mask on? It must be awful.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of, you get tired much more quickly because you can't breathe like that much.
Jimmy, you want to go to Dublin? Is there a reason Dublin? There's something special?
I was supposed to study abroad in the fall in Dublin, and that's where my family's from originally. So I was pretty upset that I didn't get to go. So hopefully, once everything's back to normal, I'll get to take a trip there.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good when somebody says to me, well, everybody had to cancel their trips. I'm like, and? Hassan, you want to go vacation in the Dominican Republic? What's there?
I just like the beaches and the sun, to be honest, and somewhere I've always wanted to go.
And you want to go to a Rolling Loud festival. Well, I have no idea what that is, but
it's like a music festival that happens in Miami every year.
Well, that's all right. Well, hopefully you can do that when this is over. And then when I asked you what was on your mind, Hannah, you asked if I think there will ever be a vaccine-like treatment for cancer. Well, in that cancer isn't one thing. I don't think there will be one thing to treat all cancers, but I want to be hopeful. So I don't know, but it would be exciting because I have never thought that far, except when I saw your question. I thought to the point where Lottie, what do you want to say?
I just have a question kind of going off of that. Doesn't the HPV shot prevent cancer?
I was just going to say that we have the HPV because that's been shown that certain strains of that cause cervical cancer. And yes, that's like the one that we have so far. So yes, you're absolutely right. That's what that's doing, is preventing the virus that causes cervical cancer. So yeah, if they can find out that there are viruses that are causing different cancers, that would be very exciting. I was going to say, I've gotten to the point where I would like to get to the point where cancer becomes a chronic illness that may flare now and then and people treat it. But yeah, vaccine, maybe you would just need boosters. So yeah, let's dream. And you want to know if bottled water is better than tap water? No. Some people like the taste of some bottled waters, but what I have told folks to do is look at your bottle of water and see if it says PWS on it. Do you know what PWS stands for? Public water supply. because a lot of places get their water from the public water supply. It's a huge waste of resources, and no, I don't think it's any better. Do you know people who who drink bottled water because they think it's healthier?
Not necessarily because it's healthier, but my sister, she always complains about the tap water. So she'll be like, I just like the taste of bottled water better. I can taste the minerals in the tap water and stuff like that.
No. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to respond to that, but if she could find a way to get an environmentally friendly bottle, that would be lovely. Okay, Andrea, you asked a couple things here. How do professors feel about in-person classes next fall? Worried, happy, excited, all the above. I usually hate all the above questions, which is why I don't like to give them, but I would go with all the above. I think we're tired of being online. We've gotten a lot of there have been good things from it, but it's like being sick for a month and saying, well, I found a new TV show that I like. There are things that I've learned thanks to you all and just the different tools that I've gotten that I would like to use in the classroom, but I don't know. Is it somebody here was asking, do I think, Jimmy, you wanted to know that, do you think Bentley will require students to receive the vaccine to return to campus? I would like that. I would feel safer. So we'll see. And you also, Andrea asked, what steps can actively be taken to reduce obesity in America? Do I believe a more plant-based diet should be encouraged? I would encourage, I don't know how much animal products people eat. So it's hard for me to make a generalization, but making a generalization, I would say yes. I would encourage people to eat a more plant-based diet. I don't think that we need all the nutrients. I mean, there are other places to get the nutrients from that are found in meat. Some of it's more what I call bioavailable, like iron and vitamin B12, but you can still get them from other foods. Whether or not that would reduce, are the two questions related, Andrea?
Yes, a little. I mean, I just saw that, there was just an article kind of that I read how in some places or in some cases, like obesity has increased because of the pandemic, because they just like order in food and they don't have, it's just like readily available for them. So I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's been that much of a shock, the pandemic, but it was just an interesting case.
Well, yeah, I don't know what you read. I think if people are ordering food, they can order fried food that's not animal products. So, that I don't think is what's making the difference. I think you can order French fries and fried this and that. So it would be the choices that people make that would have an effect, and the activity level and genetics, all things. But Hassan, what is the feasibility of the country fulfilling the promise of having the whole country vaccinated by the end of August? Well, the limiting factor, I think, will be the people who won't get vaccinated because they want to own the libs. I think that the vaccines are available. What do you think, Hassan?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the vaccines are available. I read I don't remember, it was like an article or like something. It was just said like 1 in 3 people in Massachusetts are already vaccinated, which is pretty interesting to see already.
Yeah, I think that, as I said, the limiting factor to us getting back to our new normal will be the people that don't get vaccinated. Will they get vaccinated before the virus mutates to a point where it throws us back? Because the more people that are vaccinated, the less places the virus has to go. The more places the virus gets to go, the more opportunities there are for it to mutate. Maybe it'll mutate into a milder form. Maybe we can hope for that too. And then Max, you wanted to know will Bentley force students to receive the vaccine? Do you mean say you can't come to class if you aren't vaccinated?
Yeah, it's kind of what I meant, because I've heard, I'm not sure if this is entirely true, but some schools are forcing their students to get vaccinated before their next semester.
Well, I don't know how you force. It would be nice to convince people that that's the best thing to do for everybody, right? And I don't know how to convince people because I mean, I can try to work in a classroom setting and try to talk people, but I don't know how to work with people who think they shouldn't get vaccinated for political reasons. So I don't know about that. I did when I was getting tested today, I asked the student who was at the table where I sat, I said, what do you know about the fall? I mean, have you heard anything? And he's like, they haven't decided whether it'll be online or in the classroom or hybrid. I mean, I feel fine about going to campus if my students, I feel safe about my students, and it's because of variants. I think that I'm more concerned. I don't know. I can't think that far yet, but how many people in terms of percentages do you think will be vaccinated by the end of the summer? I have no idea. Yeah, hopefully more than we're seeing now. It's starting to plateau, and that makes me nervous. Andrea.
I saw that many people aren't getting their second dose, that they're just receiving the first one, and I'm wondering whether that could be because of limited supply, or is it just because individuals think that with the first dose they're okay, or like why that's happening?
Well, I think it's because they're afraid of the reaction. It isn't limited. I think we have plenty of vaccine. When you get your first shot, if it's a 2-shot dose, a 2-shot shot, then they schedule your second shot. They should have it there. That's my understanding. What I understood was that people are afraid of the reactions because, it's not. I don't think it has anything to do with supply. And this is when I say I never felt so good about feeling bad, but I don't know that I'm somebody that can convince anyone. So, all right. And Rohit, how are universities requiring us to? I don't know. I don't know how that's playing out. That's the question. How are universities requiring students to receive the vaccine going to play out with large percentage of people who refuse? I don't know. The one thing that just came into my head was that they will require them to take their classes online. So I don't know the answer to that. Okay. And what was this? Some things that you will remember, or 2 things that you'll take from the class. Rachel Zuckerberg, that COVID-19 vaccines use mRNA that teach the cells. It teaches your body how to have the immune response, and then it dissolves, kind of. It goes away. There's nothing left in you your body takes over. Hannah, that heart disease is the #1 killer. Right, with the exception of COVID. I think COVID this year will be the #3. I think cancer and heart disease are still up there. But more people are also living with cancer and heart disease. And yet there are 2 different types of strokes. Andrea, I like how you said that diet culture can be toxic. I would say that it pretty much is. You learned how our immune system works. Yeah, this course became very relevant all of a sudden. Not for the best of reasons. I'm glad that Hassan, those are 2 things you remember, the physical and mental health. And Jimmy, I don't know why yours was so much bigger than everybody else's. When I clicked the design button, that was the design it came up with. The only cure to a hangover is time. And I think we'll stop there. Okay, so before I start the detox myth, I just want to ask folks what you know about, and I've asked this, I think I've spoken to you all about this. What do you know about detoxes? What does it mean to you, and why do you think people do them? Lottie.
I think people don't understand that your body essentially detoxes, that's why you have a liver and kidneys and stuff like that. And people think that drinking a tea or lemon water or whatever is gonna do a better job than their actual body. So I personally don't think detoxes are I don't know. I think your body does it for you, so there's no point.
Sophia, what do you think?
I mean, I've heard people who do cleanses and detox because they're getting rid of the toxins and the negative energy in their body, and then when they're done with the detox, they just feel, I guess, alleviated and positive. I don't really know.
Yeah, what are those toxins that they're getting rid of? That's what I want to know. Rachel Zuckerberg, what's your
I was
understanding?
gonna say, so I used to work at a smoothie place that would like sell these detox. It was like $80 for like 12 days of the juices. And like I don't think like inherently like there are like healthy things in the juices. Like there's like ginger, like lemon, like aloe vera, like whatever it is. But I think just
Careful
like
with aloe vera.
or what I don't know. But
Uh-huh.
I think just like the name itself, like detox, is just giving off the wrong impression that there's something wrong. Whereas like we've been saying, like that's not it.
Well, so what are people cleansing them? So, all right, so say you call it a cleanse. What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's better either.
How about expensive juices?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Does anybody know anyone who's ever done a detox or a cleanse? You're shaking your head, Lottie. And, oh, okay. So what do you want to tell us, Lottie?
My mom used to do them, and she still thinks they're good. She tries to get me to do one, like where you only drink like tea for a week, that apparently resets your body.
It resets your body.
I personally think that's just fake, and
Resets it to what?
Yeah, I don't
No?
know.
Oh, right. Bridget.
Yeah, I have a question about one actually.
Sure.
So my sister did one like 10 years ago or so for like a week, and then after the detox ended, she suddenly had a gluten intolerance. Like right after she did the detox, she just like couldn't eat gluten anymore.
Was she
So I don't know.
tested?
What? Yeah,
Was she
she
tested?
got tested, and she like went to a nutritionist and everything like that. And then we also found out that she was like allergic to the protein in milk, not like lactose.
Right. No, she has a milk allergy.
Yeah. So after that detox, she got all of these allergies.
So, okay, so that's doesn't mean correlation proves causation,
Yeah,
but I will
but,
throw
like-
another anecdote in there, which I may have told you. This friend of mine sees a naturopath, and she always complained about intestinal issues, and this naturopath took her off dairy and took her off wheat for 6 weeks. She felt no different. She was still uncomfortable, but now she has an allergy to wheat and she can't drink milk. So we have an N of 2, but hers was just taking those 2 out of her diet and then putting them back. So I don't know the answer to that. That's pretty wild. That's pretty amazing. Samir, who do you know? Did you raise your hand, Samir?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, both my sisters and my mom tried it, and they just said so many broad terms like flush away your toxins or something like that. And I just like that, like, and then I asked about like a week or like a month later, and they told me like it kind of worked, or like it's kind of like placebo effect where like they thought it worked because they felt like refreshed or better. But then like a year later, like I talked to them about it again, and they was like, yeah, there's no point detox, just like drink water.
Well, I'm okay. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to add before I get started? Anytime, if you have any comments, please raise your hand. I think I figured out between my 2 screens how to respond. All right. So I want to talk to you about the myth of detox. And here I'm using detox and cleansing interchangeably. And Dr. Stephen Barrett, Dr. Scott Guevara, and a woman who likes to go by Side Babe. This is information that I've gotten from them. They are in the skeptics crew that I follow. So one of the things that really upsets me is the idea that if your pharmacy sells it, it has to be good. And I have up here, because I forgot to change the color, wrong, okay? The problem is, people buy their detoxes. They can be sold on a shelf in a pharmacy. Like homeopathic remedies are sold in my pharmacy, and that bothers me no end. And I tell myself they need to make a living there, with all these chains. But people think if it's in the pharmacy, it has to be good. Well, detox is a case of a legitimate medical term being used as a marketing strategy to treat a non-existent condition. Detoxification is a real treatment, but it's used for getting rid of dangerous levels of alcohol and drug or poisons that have affected someone. Detox treatments are medical treatments and need to be done in a controlled environment, usually in a hospital or a clinic. But when you see detox is being advertised, it's a fake treatment the phrase has been co-opted to sell useless products and services. It's a fake treatment for a fake disease. So I want to kind of give you some tools to help evaluate detox claims. Okay, I want to go over these 3 ideas, statements, whatever, about detox. 1, what about all these toxins? 2, but these toxins are making us sick. And 3, we need to cleanse from these toxins. We need to detox, whatever, in order to make us better. And I want to help you in my quest to make you conscious consumers. And in this case, not pseudoscience suckers, because I'm a sucker for alliteration. So the first claim, our bodies, what about the toxins? And the reason why people do it is because they feel like, they're told, they read, whatever, that our bodies are accumulating toxins. And the reason why we fall for this whole marketing of detox is because, well, our brains are kind of hardwired to believe in these rituals. The one thing I read referred to it as sympathetic magic. These rituals date from purification rituals that go back centuries. Now, let me just say again that real detox is not ordered from a menu at a juice bar or assembled from the maple syrup and the cayenne pepper and the lemon juice that you have in your kitchen. Drugs used for real detoxifications are not ingredients that go in a smoothie. So I was saying detox is kind of like a religious ritual. And what's being promoted today as detox isn't really that different from these old religious rituals of cleansing and purification, that our body is a toxic waste dump that needs to be purified. But framing it in religious terms might not have the appeal to the demographic that they want to market to if they use those terms. So they try to make it sound sciencey. Instead of calling it a religious ritual, instead of using the word sin, which is what people had to purify themselves of, we use the word toxin, or try to. And instead of calling it a religious ritual, they refer to it as a detox, which kind of makes it sound more sciencey, right? So clean, and then along with these purification rituals, there was this, as time marched on, there was this whole idea that if you clean out the bowels, you can cure any illness. And this was referred to as auto-intoxication. Right? That you could, as long as you got rid of whatever was in your bowels, you would be fine. Well, today's version of auto-intoxication is not, demons or poisons that are found. Well, actually, if it's the environment, let's look at some of those ideas. Salt, right? Processed food, that's toxic. We're poisoning ourselves. Fatty meats, pollution. Anyway, I'm not a fan of that. Here's one that's approved, that people are okay with becoming intoxicated with. For some reason, this is also a known drug, but people are okay with alcohol, but not GMOs. Oh no, not GMOs. Any kind of drug, we need to be natural. We can't use drugs. Or gluten. So this is today's version of auto-intoxication. And I think what people are doing to themselves in order to need to cleanse themselves. The thing is, detox kits and treatments never name the toxin they're removing because they've never been shown to remove any toxins. That's why I kept asking, what is the toxin? So about those toxins, I still don't know what they are. But whatever those toxins are, they're making us sick. Well, let's have a look at that claim. It's marketing. They market general claims and specific claims. General are things like headache, fatigue, insomnia, hunger. Let's see, after last night, which I didn't sleep so well, I have at least 3 out of 4 of those. Do I need a detox? But what's upsetting also is when they market it to specific things like cancer. And people wind up thinking that all they need to do is follow the Gerson diet or detox themselves and they'll get rid of cancer. If you look for a second or two at some of these signs of toxicity or symptoms of toxicity, how can you not have so many of them that you must get detoxed, that you have to buy these detox products? And then there's I'll talk a little bit about these heavy metals. Got to get rid of those. Where they're coming from, somebody please tell me. And not only the ones that I just looked at, but what about all those chemicals? What are we doing about the chemicals in our environment? Here's some chemicals. Somebody want to read a couple of them? Will, you want to read a couple of these for me?
Yeah. So there's some fatty acids I see. A lot of things I can't pronounce.
And you can't pronounce them. So what are you supposed to think if you can't pronounce it?
Yeah, I've always been told if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it.
Okay. This is what where those chemicals are found. They're in an egg. They're the ingredients. They're what the egg is made up of. These are amino acids. These are sugars. These are the chemical names for those. And I think you're familiar with this one if you reach back into the gray matter all the way to the beginning of the semester. This is dihydrogen monoxide. That's a chemical. And look, I read you the parts of the petition on the horrors of dihydrogen monoxide, and at least half the class agreed that the government should ban dihydrogen monoxide. And what is dihydrogen monoxide? Does anybody remember?
It's water.
That's right. Oops, sorry. It's water. It's water. What would my talk be like if I didn't remind you of one of my most favorite phrases? All things are poison, and there is none which is not a poison. Solely the dose differentiates a poison from a remedy. It's the dose that makes the poison. But here are some of the, not everybody, we detox with juices. Well, I don't say we. Not eating meat, not drinking coffee, because it's the diet. It's all about the diet and the air we breathe and the everything we're doing. Has anybody ever heard of these suja juices? Well, these are things, I like the name of them. I looked this up last week, so my prices, last semester, so my prices might be a little off, but they sell a number of different juices. And this one is the Suja Organic Uber Green Vegetable and Juice Drink that's sold as part of a detox. And what does it contain? 42 grams of sugar in a 16-ounce bottle, no iron, no B vitamins, very little protein. For between $7 and $9, you're getting 16 ounces of juice that will not purify you. Green juice will not purify you. Sugar water is not a magic key to weight loss and well-being. Cold pressed organic, making vague promises of you feeling less gross, is really expensive. And the one I checked on, the one that they sell as a cleanse, the 3-day cleanse, is $110. Rachel, how much was that week-long cleanse?
Somewhere between $80 and $100.
Oh, okay. Well, you get more on that one, but it's still sugar water. It will not purify you. It will make you feel better for a while. When people, I know people want to lose weight on these, they think they lose weight on these. And we talked about the difference between weight loss and fat loss. Weight loss comes back. And again, I ask, what is the actual toxin that you're being purified from? And which toxins cause the symptoms? And how do these toxins cause the disease? These are my questions. To show that even a single chemical can cause a disease requires a significant amount of research. Oops. And again, what's the toxin and what's the disease? But we need to cleanse ourselves. We need to get rid of these toxins. So let me just talk to you a little bit about those detoxes. Not all of them, by no means. And I will be happy to look into any that you may come across, but the results are still going to be the same. Can it be harmful? If you're eating food and you're making healthy choices, that's good. But remember, it's still the dose. You can eat too much of kale and chard, but if you like them, you should eat them. But these detox kits, they're not regulated. They can be unsafe, so they can be harmful. The contents may vary, but they typically contain 2 sets of ingredients. One is a liver cleanse, and milk thistle, which comes from is a plant, can be toxic itself. So you have these liver things and good old enemas, which, well, I'll come back to that. So a 1-day fast probably is fine if you don't have any pre-existing or any health conditions, if you're not diabetic, if you don't require certain medications. Cleansing with herbs and dietary fibers probably going to be fine, but it can be expensive. It's likely to be harmless and useless. And the thing is that prolonged fasting can be fatal. So that's what, people that do these once a week or once every 2 weeks, it's like getting adjusted by a chiropractor. It must not be working if you keep having to go back. Now, there is something called chelation therapy. Has anybody ever heard of chelation? This is an actual procedure or treatment for helping the body to get rid of heavy metals. Lead is an example of what, for kids who eat lead paint chips, they have an accumulation of this metal in their body and they need to be detoxed. And this is an example of a real medical procedure that has to be done in a supervised situation under medical supervision, not some natural chelation therapy, right? Because when you have somebody who is not trained to do this, you can develop electrolyte imbalances. It can ruin, endanger your organs. And the thing is that people feel sick afterwards, all right, when they have these chelations, because they're being told that these are cleansing reactions. What you're experiencing with the nausea and the diarrhea and the vomiting are these toxins leaving your body. If you're not in a medical situation being monitored for these symptoms, then you shouldn't be in a situation to even be experiencing those symptoms. So I looked up some detox kits. I thought I would go to PubMed and see what I could find out about detox kits. I couldn't find anything. There's no credible evidence to demonstrate that detox kits do anything at all. They have not been shown to remove any toxins or offer any other health benefits. If they have, they haven't been involved in any kind of research that's gotten published. As I said before, detox kits and treatments never name the toxin they remove because they've never been shown to remove any toxins. What's the toxin? And what's the disease? Now, some people detox through their mouths and other people prefer the other end of the body. And here's a picture of the basic So I suppose that must mean there is a super or whatever's one level up from basic coffee enema kit. These are unsafe and should be avoided. All right. They can introduce bacteria into your bloodstream called septicemia, rectal perforation, electrolyte imbalances, even death. But they give it a fancy name. They call it colon hydrotherapy. Hydro means water, right? If we have the before, what you're looking at is somebody's large intestine, which is another name for colon. Here it is full of toxins, and here it is after you've been detoxed. Well, pretty much when you have 60 liters of water being pumped through your large intestine as part of this expensive, usually spa-related hydrotherapy, you're pretty much just forcibly giving yourself diarrhea. I wouldn't recommend it. Now, there are people who are afraid of those words they can't pronounce, and they don't want to ever, eat something that has those words in them. You shouldn't be involved in any of those words. So the Journal of Family Practice, a case report, used words like, after one of these colon hydrotherapies, fatal airportia, which is gas accumulating in the veins, with air emboli, rectal perforations, perineal gangrene, acute water intoxication, coffee enema, associated colitis, and septicemia, and death due to amoebiasis. So those are a lot of words that are hard to pronounce. Are you going to be scared of those? Those are the ones you should be afraid of. So one of these things is not like the other. Any Sesame Street fans out there? On the left, these are the liver and the kidneys. These are organs that are vital. These are vital organs that contribute to cleansing your body every day. On the right, a subjectively tasty drink. Without it, your liver and kidneys will still cleanse your body every day. Try not to get the two confused. Here's a question that I get asked. Does sweating release toxins? No. It can make you dehydrated and create an electrolyte balance. So no, it doesn't get rid of toxins. It can make you feel pretty toxic, but it's not getting rid of toxins. So let's see. Any questions? So what have we kind of learned? Well, the first claim, our idea, I don't know, that our bodies are accumulating toxins? No. That these toxins are making us sick? No. That we need to detox in order to remove these toxins? No. So what can you do, right? What can you do? How are you supposed to detox or stay healthy during COVID, during finals? Well, I would say try to eat a balanced diet. Try to have regular activity. Make sure your vaccinations are up to date. Get your physical. It's still a good idea. And please, please don't spend $9 on juice. Questions? Did I tell you I was in Antarctica once and was where this penguin picture was taken? Anyone? All right. So I'd like you to relax for the next few minutes, loosen any restrictive clothing, and allow your body to sit in a comfortable position. As we begin, I want you to focus your eyes up high somewhere in the room as you inhale deeply and allow your eyes to close as you exhale completely. You may allow your eyes to remain closed as you again inhale deeply and exhale completely. Feel yourself relaxing more and more as you inhale and let go of tension and stress as you exhale. As you continue to listen to the sound of my voice, all the muscles in your body loosen up and relax completely. The muscles in your forehead relax. Your eyes rest in their sockets. Your cheek muscles relax. Your tongue rests on the floor of your mouth, feeling heavier and heavier. Your neck muscles relax. Your shoulders rest away from your ears. As you continue to listen to my voice, all the muscles in your body loosen up and relax completely. Your arms and elbows relax. Your wrists and fingertips relax. Your chest muscles relax. Your abdominal muscles relax. Your hips, knees, shins, toes. All the muscles in your body loosen up and relax completely. And in this relaxed state, you may say to yourself, in the days ahead, I know what I must do to take care of myself, to conserve my energy and keep my mind clear. I'm able to sleep well at night and waken refreshed in the morning. I'm able to study for my exams and write my papers for my classes because I'm managing my schedule in an efficient and timely manner. And on the day of my exams and my papers and my presentations, I will wake up knowing that I'm ready and prepared. As the day begins, I will feel all anxiety and concern melt away. As I look at my exams, as I begin my presentations, I know that my mind is able to focus completely on the information being asked of me. I'm able to answer all questions in a clear, concise manner. I'm confident of my ability to complete these tasks. Now, as I count to 5, you'll be able to 1, get in touch with your body and breathing. 2, become aware of the room around you. 3, know that in the days ahead, you are earning the grades you've worked towards all semester. 4 and 5, wide awake, alert, and clear. Namaste. Thank you so much for your patience and your help this semester. I hope we never have to get together in this situation again. And if anyone's around in the fall and can make their way over to Jennison 141, I can see how tall you are. Okay, good luck. Bye
Thank
now.
you so much, Professor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Professor.
Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Bye. Thank you.